You're tuned into the Voice365 podcast, only on Wark300.
How have you been, sir? And with all these I wouldn't even say festivities that haven't happened over the week, but because you live right in downtown, like right in the heart of Atlanta.
Yeah, I live in Atlanta. Like, you know, it's a funny joke. You know, you always see people to be like, oh yeah, but they ain't from Atlanta, or they, you know what I'm saying, they live such and such. Nah, I live in Atlanta.
Right.
So, like, I live in Fulton County. That shit was going down, like, right outside my, on my balcony, I can hear everything. Like, the news was reporting on the stuff. I'm hearing them watching the cops off my balcony chasing people, cars down the street, literally. Like, I think last night, the cop, it was dude drove by on the ATV, and the cop tried to stop him, and the cop flew like 20 feet in the air. I literally heard all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Literally. Like, dude was revving his four-wheeler for like 20 minutes on hitting the glass packs for like, and then all that, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's like surreal, but, you know, they tore up my whole block. Like, everything around where I live at, they tore it up. Like, so.
Right. Yeah, well, I live in the suburbs of Georgia, and basically, I mean, it hasn't come my way, but I have been watching television, I have been watching TV to see what's going on. And the thing of it is, first we had the Ahmaud Arbery, then Breonna Taylor, and then George Floyd. George Floyd basically was the tipping point to get everybody out here protesting, and then the riot started. So just to give a little background on what happened, on May 25th, George Floyd, who is an African-American male, he had died in the neighborhood, basically it was south of downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was handcuffed and lying face down on a city street during an arrest. Derek Chauvin, a white Minneapolis police officer, kept his knee on the right side of Floyd's neck. Now, they're saying here 8 minutes and 46 seconds. I've been hearing 9 minutes and some change.
Well, come on, man. This is America. You know, we never going to get the full story of anything that really happened. So it's like, you got to, with all these new videos coming out, you've been seeing. Now, look. Now, let me tell you something out of everything you just read. And shot, I know they can't see you, but you know you can head nod and all that stuff. Now, did y'all see the other video that they pulled up?
Yeah, I posted it.
With the newest one, when the cop pulled up and blocked the camera. Like, so it's kind of like, come on, like, I was telling somebody on my Facebook earlier, like, you know, the government, you know, not to say too much, you can take from with it, you know, this is my opinion, but that's the biggest gang in America. You feel me? The army, the cops. So everything they gonna do is strategic. You know what I'm saying? They already know what they doing. Y'all playing with them if y'all going out there and not even having a strategy. Y'all just out there looting, rioting. I'm not just saying everybody. I'm just saying the people that's doing that without a plan, without a purpose, without anything. It's like, yeah, it started for one cause, but now, like she said, people just out there looting and stealing businesses that, you know, people got to work at. And, you know, it's turning into something else. So I'm just like, if you out there, you really got to know what you're doing. If you're not an active activist or somebody that's fighting for causes every trip,
right?
Then,
so we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we're
gonna get into that because we're both real passionate, and we've gone back and forth with people on social media about it. I've even had to bring people to the block party, which is my normal go-to, because there's nothing wrong with having a sensible conversation. There's nothing wrong with having a friendly debate. But when you come sideways at somebody, and it's like, really, a lot of people have said with situations like this, a lot of friendships are going to be lost because you are seeing people's true colors. But yeah, so going back, basically, it was for 9 minutes. Let me see, where was I? Oh, I'm sorry, 8 minutes, 46 seconds. 2 minutes and 53 seconds of which occurred after Floyd became unresponsive. Now, I watched that video for about almost 3 minutes. And when I'm looking at the smirk on his face, his hands are in his pocket, George is screaming, "I cannot breathe." people around him are saying, hey, what are y'all doing? Let him go. Why do you have him like that? But the part that broke my heart was when he called out for his mom twice. And I didn't get it at first because I was like, well, was his mom around? But then I found out the next day that his mother had passed away 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So basically, when he was calling for his mom, he was already transitioning. Pretty much at that point.
You know, so I think just like by knowing people who's been shot or being close to like near-death experiences, you know, you go through different stages. When I guess I've heard, you know, when you close to passing. So you know, man, so he said he can't breathe.
Right.
So I mean,
his nose was bleeding.
That sums it up. Like he was bleeding. His nose was bleeding. He said he can't breathe. I mean, he said he can't breathe. Mm-hmm. I don't think people say they can't breathe for fun, for real. I don't care if you in a fight with somebody and they choking you out. Once you say you can't breathe, I feel like, you know, it is what it is. So he said that, and he proceeded to, you know, do what he did, the officer. So I mean, it ain't really too much to.
So let's have the discussion. Let's go back. Let's rewind real fast because there was a lot of discussion on the internet of course, you know, everybody is pointing fingers and things like that. So you had people on the sideline with the cameras filming what happened. The teenage girl, I think she was, people were attacking her and saying, oh, why didn't you jump in and do anything? Then there would have been, because I think she was a black girl, there would have been 2 dead black people. Because if she would have jumped in and tried to save him, and I'm pretty sure no one else would have risked their lives to save George at all. Let's have a discussion on that. If you were to have seen the same thing going down in downtown Atlanta, and you saw a cop doing the same thing that happened to George, would you have jumped in, or would you just keep going? Or would you have recorded it so it could be seen?
Who, me personally?
Yep.
It's fucked up, because I'd have been one of the people like, yo, get off of him. Like,
but that's what they did.
Now, like, that's when I feel like, you know, how they out there throwing stuff at the cops. I feel like that's when that's supposed to be happening. That's when you supposed to take action. Like, right is right, wrong is wrong. Like, people too scared to go to jail. This is one of my guests, but people too scared to go to jail.
This is so ghetto.
We on, I'm on air.
Oh my goodness. But I know for me in particular that I can't say I would jump in.
It's hard to say what you're going to do because you don't really
know unless you're in that situation. You
don't think he about to sit there and kill the man. Like, you think in your head, like, all right, he just trying to do his job, you know.
Right.
It is what it is, but I mean, you know, the more the discussion is this. Mm-hmm. It's too many times, and it ain't got really nothing to do with George Floyd. It does, but it's deeper than that. It's too many times. I seen a video last week in our hometown where they opened up one of the clubs back up, and I seen 2 dudes getting into a fight, and dude waited till dude turn around, and then he hit him, boom, and dude hit the ground and went to sleep. Now everybody out there with their camera though. This is what I'm saying. Everybody's out there watching. Everybody's watching. Dude, all right, they fought. Dude caught him with a quick one, a quick cheap shot. But even after that, y'all let him hit the ground. He bleeding out, and y'all just still videotaping him. That's my point right there. Like,
but here's what the black community is gonna say: it's not the same thing. That's what they're going to say, because that's what I said when I'm like, okay, well, why, when Chicago had 30 shootings over Memorial Day weekend, and then 2 days later, George Floyd